Welcome. So, if you've ever stared at a Gmat verbal question and thought, this isn't an English test, it's a linguistic minefield, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to completely reframe that whole challenge. We're going to stop treating it like a language test and start treating it like what it actually is, a logic puzzle that's just waiting for you to solve it. I mean, really think about it. You see these ridiculously dense passages, right? And these super tricky sentence correction questions that feel, well, they feel almost subjective. You know the words, you know the grammar, but for some reason, the right answer just feels like it's hiding from you. Well, I'm here to tell you that frustration, it's completely by design. And just knowing that is the very first step to beating this thing.
And here's the trap. It's the one that almost everybody falls into. We're all taught to read for nuance, for subtext, for that deeper literary meaning. But on the Gmat, that is a total misdirection. The test designers, they pack these questions with intimidating vocabulary and these long, tangled sentences because they're hoping you'll get bogged down in the words. They want you to miss the actual structure underneath.
Okay, so if the whole thing is designed to trap us, how do we get out? Well, it takes a complete paradigm shift, a total change in how you see the problem. We're going to stop being passive readers and start being active decoders. So forget about being a literary critic. From this moment on, you're an engineer, and you're looking at a schematic. This right here, this is the core idea for everything we're talking about today. A Gmat verbal question isn't some beautiful piece of writing to be admired. No, it's a logical circuit. It has inputs, it has connections, and it has an output. Our only job is to map it out and see if the connections are solid. That's it.
Now, every good engineer needs a toolkit, and we're no different. So let's get practical. Let's look at the first couple of tools. These are all about one thing: clearing away all the noise so you can find that clean, logical signal that's buried underneath.
First tool in the box, lexical translation. It sounds fancy, but it's super simple. When the Gmat throws a $5 word at you like exacerbate or anomalous, don't even flinch. Just immediately translate it into the simplest words you can think of. Make worse, weird, make better. Doing this instantly lowers your stress and it stops the fancy vocabulary from hiding the actual logic. And you gotta remember, so much of a Gmat sentence is just noise, it's fluff. All those adjectives, adverbs, these extra little clauses, they are all designed to distract you. So, our next tool, what I call the defluffing rule, is your filter. The rule is simple. If a word isn't absolutely essential to that core subject-verb-object relationship, it's fluff. Just get rid of it. Okay, check out this sentence. This is classic Gmat style, right? It's just packed with descriptive words, particularly garrulous, cantankerous, vehemently, sweeping. Our brains instinctively try to process all of that junk, and in doing so, we completely lose sight of what's actually being said. Now watch what happens when we apply that defluffing rule. We just strip out all those extra non-essential words. And what are we left with? The politician opposed the legislation. Bam! All of a sudden, the core logical relationship is crystal clear. And it took what, like 2 seconds to find it? Okay, so we've cleared the signal of all that noise. What's next? Well, now we map its path. In this second part of our toolkit, we're going to learn how to literally trace the logical current from the beginning of the sentence all the way to the end. You know, normally we read a page from top to bottom, like a story. We're going to flip that on its head. We're going to map the logic horizontally, just like an electrical current flowing from one component to the next. You find fact A, you see how it connects to fact B, and then you trace that connection all the way down the line to the conclusion. Let's use a really simple example to see how this works. Let's say the argument is that higher speed limits lead to worse crashes. How do we map that out? Well, the first part is that more speed leads to more kinetic energy, right? And that extra energy, in turn, leads to a more severe crash. See that? The logical current just flows perfectly from one point to the next. So if that's the circuit, how do you weaken an argument like this? You don't need some complex multi-point counterargument. Nope. You just need to find one single place where that circuit breaks. You just have to show that one of those arrows, one of those logical connections, doesn't necessarily hold up. You just have to break that link between, say, more speed and more crash. And look how easy it is for one new piece of information to do exactly that. What if we introduce a new fact? The roads with the higher speed limits are also way wider and safer. Well, that completely severs the connection. Suddenly, more speed doesn't automatically mean more crashes. The circuit is broken. The argument is weakened. It's that simple. All right, our last mapping tool is something I call traffic light detection.
Certain words in these sentences are basically road signs that tell you exactly where the argument is going. Green light words like furthermore or moreover mean the logic's just going to keep going in the same direction. Yellow light words like therefore or because signal a cause and effect relationship. And the most important ones, the red light words like however or despite, they tell you the logic is about to pull a U-turn. Spotting these is like having a GPS for the argument. So, we've covered the mindset, we've got the tools. Now, let's put it all together into our final blueprint. We've officially gone from being a confused reader to a focused, logical engineer. And this isn't just a list of tips. This is your new systematic protocol for how you're going to attack every single verbal question from now on. This is it, your new 4-step protocol. Number 1, translate the jargon into plain English. Number 2, defluff the noise to find the signal. Number 3, map the logical current with arrows. And number 4, watch out for those traffic lights. This is your identity now. You are not just a test taker anymore. You are a verbal engineer, and you are here to systematically decode the machine.
When you start approaching the Gmat verbal section with this engineering mindset, you take all the control back. You're no longer a victim of tricky phrasing or big, scary words. You have a process, you have a toolkit, you have a blueprint. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?